Peace and blessings, everyone. So I just watched this video online, um, and it's talking about the so-called YouTube murder-suicide that involved a young man named Anthony Powell. YouTube username was Tony48219, and a young lady named Asia McGowan. Um, she also has a YouTube account also, um, but I don't know her YouTube name. When it happened, Mr. Powell had killed Ms. McGowan at a community college that they attended together in a classroom. He killed her and then he killed himself. And so there are several videos on here talking about him. And so I run across this one, and it showed one of his videos. So it turned out he was a person of faith, a Christian. And he said he made a lot of videos dealing with speaking out against atheists and evolution and whatnot. And so what really struck me, and really the purpose of this video, is that religious aspect of it. The fact that in the video they showed how much he bashed atheists for how stupid they are and how worthless they are, and how they are just of Satan. They come from Satan and whatnot. And then you have him do this. So he's a Christian who bashed people who didn't believe in God and didn't believe or don't believe in his God. And then he went out and killed someone. So this is what we are faced with. This is what you are faced with. People of religions, people of Christianity, people who follow a certain book, certain rules and all that, being that he is Christian. So this is what you are faced with. The truth is, either God wanted him to kill that young lady and kill himself, because you say everything happens for a reason, that God causes everything to happen, or God allowed him to kill that young lady, or God was indifferent to him killing that young lady. This is what you are faced with. These are the questions you must answer. You should answer. That you should question the validity and the worth of your religion or your God that would want something like that to happen, allow something like that to happen, or just didn't care about something like that happen. Well, but maybe God wanted him to, and it was for the better. Maybe she was a totally evil person, and God felt she needed to be killed. Maybe. Just maybe. Maybe that's the truth. I have to say maybe that's the truth because I don't know. Excuse me. I'm sure there are those who will defend or who have defended the actions in the Bible and Old Testament of people killing because God led them to do so. Even have someone defend the fact of the children being killed in the Old Testament, saying they must have deserved it. So once again, I don't know. I'm an ignorant person. So maybe God wanted him to kill her for the betterment for somewhere down the road. But that takes a leap of faith. You have to believe that is such. You have to choose to believe that is such. And if you do that, then you have to do that in every case. And any time that someone says they're killing for God, and God said that they say God told them to kill someone, then you will have to take them for face value. Why would you not believe that? If you believe that God is always behind things, that God has control over everything, that nothing is done without the approval of God, then you will have to accept anyone who says that God told them to kill someone. You will have to. You should. And if you didn't, then once again, you should question your faith. You should question your religion and question your God. Now, another thing you are faced with, and I'm interested on one of the young ladies' religious background is, if she was a Christian, because then once again, you would have to say that God allowed her to be killed. God wanted her to be killed. Or God just forsake her and didn't care. He was just indifferent. So what? I don't care if you're killed. That's what you're faced with. And the young man that killed her, it turns out, and they say that he had been dealing for most of his life with depression. He's supposed to be on medication, but he wouldn't take the medication. So even still then, God wanted him to be depressed. He wanted him to suffer through mental anguish through years and years of his life. He wanted that. He wanted the thoughts of murder to come in his head, of suicide to come in his head. Or he allowed it. He allowed someone who believed in him, who loved him, who stood up and fought for him, who thought they was doing right in proclaiming that he is the God, and that he is worthy to be praised. That he allowed this young man to suffer and for his mental capacity to diminish. He wanted it, he allowed it, or he just didn't care. You must face this truth about your God. This happens many times, and from people of our religions. Their God wants them to kill. Their God wants them to be killed. Their God allows them to kill. Their God allows them to be killed. Or their God just doesn't care that they kill or that they are killed. So what is the value of your God if you always have to question his motives? If in the face of death, torture, in the face of inhumane acts, that you either have to accept that God wanted that to happen, you have to take a leap of faith, that you have to go out in faith and say, God wanted. You have to accept that God wanted something to happen that most humans feel is immoral, is unjust. You have to accept that God wanted to happen. allowed it to happen, or just didn't care. So what is the value of your God in your religion? God bless. Peace and love.